Hi, my name is Jose Moreno. I'm currently retired from the Army. I was a staff sergeant. Currently, I'm a student at UIW, and I am going into my senior year. I have 8 classes left, and in spring of 2019, I'll graduate with a bachelor's in history and a minor in government. I also coach soccer during the fall, baseball, and currently softball with my daughter and my son. Well, the first time I was hurt in Beji, Iraq. The Bradley hit a triple stack landmine. The driver passed away. Everybody in the back was hurt in some form. I ended up taking shrapnel to my face and ended up with a concussion. The second time was during my second tour. We had just been relieved and we were heading back to, I think it was a substation at the time. And on the way back, we were on the highway, so we're going anywhere from 40 to 50 on a Bradley. And the track snapped, and I was the Bradley commander on the vehicle, standing up, so I just got hit everywhere. I get looked at by the medics. They tell me, you kind of have signs of concussions. You get more sleep, and eventually when you feel better, you need to get your Bradley back to working order. So that morning, my crew was like, Sergeant, we need to go work on the vehicle. I was like, all right, it's 10 o'clock, let's get up, let's go work on the vehicle. And throughout the day, civilians were coming in dump trucks, and they were working on the substation. It was still operated by the Iraqis, the locals. And so there was this dump truck just coming in all day, and we didn't pay attention to it. We were being guarded by Americans. And I saw a sergeant who she was carrying a mermite of coffee. And I thought to myself, that is so weird. I was like, who drinks coffee in 130-degree weather? As I get down and I'm looking at my gunner and driver, I look up towards where our living quarters were. And I just see an explosion, and everything is on fire. Just give me a second. At that moment, I didn't know what was going on. I'm thinking to yourself, this is like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. So then I just kind of gathered my composure. I grabbed both my gunner and driver and pulled them out from under the vehicle. My driver was screaming that he couldn't see. Get to the side and kind of figure out, okay, what do we need to do now? And my gunner's like, well, I don't see anybody pulling security, so I'm gonna go get the 240. And then I was like, well, there's a CLS bag under my bed. I'm gonna go find that. So while I'm running back, I guess towards where we're all sleeping, the other driver for the other Bradley comes, and he's like, Sergeant Moreno, I don't feel good. And he kind of slumps over, and I kind of look at his back, and there's like this huge hole in his back. And so I just kind of pass him off, say I'm gonna go get, the stuff we need to kind of, provide, help for people. On the way back, somebody grabs my foot, and it's somebody crushed by a T-barrier, and he's screaming at me to try to pull it off him. So I tried my best. I couldn't. I was like, okay, well, we need to get communications or somebody to come help us. So I hand over the CLS bag to another guy that had the other driver. My gunner had the 240, and my gunner and somebody else started getting the other Bradley ready. And I said, well, I'm gonna go into our Bradley that's kind of on fire and call for help. So I called the other OP, and then at the same time I called medevac. And I told him there's a mass casualty. At the same time, me and my driver had both ruptured eardrums. And by the end of that day, we were told we had mild TBIs. We had also, I think we had all our hair on our body was all singed from, the flash fire. For me personally, it was hard when we first got back. A lot of what you hear with people taking their lives and stuff, it's like for me, I need to be around for my children. So whatever I need to do personally with either making sure I'm taking the right medication that's prescribed to me, going to seek counseling. For me personally, coaching has helped. You have to deal with other people's kids. You can't talk to them the way you would talk to your own children. So you use restraint and anger or anything like that. So that's helped out a lot. I think coaching has probably been the biggest tool that I've used. The Sentinels of Freedom has helped me more, allowing me to be with my children financially. with the help that we receive from them, it has allowed me at least 2 years to be with my children, not having to worry about work, not having to worry about how am I going to pay for the next mortgage payment. It's more, I know for the next 2 years that is taken care of. I can focus on my academics, achieve a bachelor's that, as a child, I never thought I would have. I mean, I would be the first, this spring to have a bachelor's in my family. That's huge for me. Our mother, she was I just wanted to graduate high school. And while I'm doing that, I can, concentrate on my children, ensuring that they know that I'm a part of their life, that, I want to be visible there. I want to be, just in general, just be around them. It's a joy. It's something that as a child myself, I didn't have. So it makes it that much better for me, I think, just to give them what I never had.